morning, everyone. Welcome to Glisten's Culinary Delights. Today we are having the Great Cinnamon Roll Challenge. Have you ever thought, I could really use a cinnamon roll right now? Well, I have. So today we're going to go over the different ways that you can get a cinnamon roll and the best way, really. So stay tuned. Like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Also check that alert bell because you can get notifications of my future videos. Let's get started on our cinnamon rolls. Alright, so at the end of the video we are going to have a taste test with a special guest on my channel. But first I wanted to kind of go over the different ways that people can get a cinnamon roll. So the first way is you just go to the grocery store, you get one of these, you can go to like a bakery if you've got a good bakery by you, or a Cinnabon or whatever. You can go and you can get some that are already made and they're perfect because if I want a cinnamon roll right this second, I've got a cinnamon roll. That's the first option. Next option is you can go to the grocery store, you can buy one of these super scary tins. So I'm risking my life to open this tin for you guys today. We're gonna make some cinnamon rolls out of this, and that's gonna be the second part of our taste test. And then the third part of our taste test, I've looked everywhere for a delicious recipe for cinnamon rolls. And a lot of them are like overnight cinnamon rolls where you make them at nighttime, you put them in the fridge or you set them on your counter and you let them rise all night long. And I'm sure they're delicious, but my whole thing is like, I want it to be fast. I want it to be immediate. I want my cinnamon rolls quick. I don't want to have to wait all night or all day for the cinnamon rolls to be ready. So I found this super awesome recipe in my unofficial Disney Parks cookbook. And so we are going to make the Gastón cinnamon rolls that they make at Disney World. And I'm going to have a blind taste tester come at the end of our video, and they're going to try all three and say if it's worth making cinnamon rolls on your own and spending all that time to make them, or if it's just better to buy them from the grocery store. So let's get started on our first cinnamon rolls. We're gonna do these ones first. I have these Pillsbury Grand cinnamon rolls in the tube that I got at the grocery store. And there is this like super awesome like trick that you can do. It's like a viral like TikTok thing that's going around where you just use some heavy cream with your cinnamon rolls and it makes them more tender with these types of cinnamon rolls. So first things first, I'm going to get my pan. I just have a glass pan here, and I'm just going to spray it down with some cooking spray. And then we're going to open the cinnamon rolls. And this is like frightening to me, guys, so bear with me for a moment while I try to get this open. No, 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 no! Oh gosh. Yes, okay. So these cinnamon rolls are cool because they come with its own little frosting already. I'm just going to get our cinnamon rolls and we're just going to put them in our pan. Now that they're in our pan, we just get our heavy cream and we just pour our heavy cream over the top of those cinnamon rolls. We have our oven. It's got to be preheated to 350 and you're going to stick it in there for 20 to 25 minutes. Just until they plump up and they're brown, and then we'll take them out of the oven. So our canned cinnamon rolls are out of the oven and they've just been sitting for like 10 minutes just to cool. I'm gonna frost them real quick and then we'll set these aside for when our other cinnamon rolls are ready and we're ready for our taste test. Just a quick note, I can already tell that these are super fluffy, like they're super nice. We are going to start on our made from scratch cinnamon rolls. Now, like I said before, these are the cinnamon roll recipe that is in my Disney Parks cookbook, and I will put the recipe down below. We're gonna get started. So first things first, we're gonna put some melted butter, half a cup of melted butter, and 1.5 cups of milk. And I'm just gonna mix those two together. Okay, next thing is I'm going to put some flour, just 2.5 cups of our flour. 2 packages of yeast, okay? And we got some sugar and some salt. I'm gonna turn that on and let that start mixing. Some water here that I'm gonna add as that's mixing. 2 eggs. And our butter and milk mixture. Just gonna let that mix for a little bit until it's all well combined. Alright, now when that's all well combined and there's like no lumps in your mixture anymore, I'm going to start putting in the rest of our flour, half a cup at a time while this mixes. Eventually I will need to start using my dough hook because it'll get harder for the paddle to turn in my mixer. So we'll do it, we'll check in about halfway through of my flour and then I'll add my dough hook. Okay, so it's kind of working a little bit too hard with my paddle, so I'm going to take this out and add in my dough hook. Just gonna let the dough hook do its work for 5 minutes. Alright, so it's been 5 minutes, so I'm going to turn off my mixer. Gonna put it down and get the dough off the dough hook. Alright, so these are done. My next step is I'm going to remove the dough out of the bowl and then I'm going to sprinkle it with some flour, just the bowl with some flour. Alright, so then I'm just going to stick my dough back in to this flour and we're going to let our dough rest for 10 minutes. Okay, so for our filling for our cinnamon rolls, here we got some brown sugar and I've got some cinnamon and then some softened butter that I just had sitting on my counter. I'm just going to use a spoon or a spatula or whatever you've got and I'm going to kind of mix all this up. So when your mixture is ready, it's going to kind of resemble a soft sand. You're going to want to make sure that you don't have any lumps from that, from the sugar, brown sugar in here. Alright, so we're going to set this aside because we are ready to roll out our dough. Our dough has risen for about 10 minutes, so I'm going to pour it out on our mat and we're going to roll it into a rectangle that's about 2 by 3. So we're just going to roll it, like I said, into a rectangle. Alright, so there we have it. We have our roll all rolled out. It's a nice big rectangle on my mat. Now I'm just going to plop down our filling mixture and we're going to spread it all around. Okay, so now that it's all spread out, as you can see, it looks beautiful. It's even, and I've got it all the way to the edges, so that way you can use the cinnamon rolls at the edges as well. Alright, so once you get your cinnamon roll rolled up like a jelly roll, you're just going to roll it from one side to the other. Then you're going to cut it into about 2-inch pieces. And there's a few ways you could do the cutting. You can use some unflavored dental floss, which is really nice because it just like cuts really easy. Or if you have like a pastry cutter, you can do it that way. Or you can just use a knife, whichever is easiest for you and whatever equipment you have. Then you're going to put them into a greased pan and you're going to let them sit for 30 minutes for them to rise just a little bit more. And then you'll put them in the oven at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. That's what they look like when they are risen. Let's get started on our toppings. We're going to make our cream cheese frosting and then we're going to make our butterscotch glaze. Okay, so you're going to put your 8 ounces of cream cheese and a 1/4 cup of butter in your pan and you're just going to cook it until it's completely melted. It's going to take about 3 minutes. Once that's done, you're going to remove it from the heat. so now that it's removed from the heat, I'm going to add in my confectioner's sugar. Just a little at a time. Right, then I'm going to add vanilla. Some heavy cream. Last but not least, some salt. Stir all that up. Okay, on to our last part of this recipe. So we are going to make our butterscotch. So we're going to do some brown sugar in our pot, butter, and heavy cream. We're going to stir this up and we're going to bring it to a boil, and we're going to let it cook for about 5 minutes. That was our timer for our cinnamon rolls. So we're going to put them in the oven, taking it off of the burner, and we are going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Stir that up. We are good to go. So I'm going to put this in a separate bowl, and we're going to put our cinnamon rolls in the oven. You're going to have them at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes. And then we will come back to it and glaze everything and give everything a try. Alright, so my timer just beeped, and so these cinnamon rolls are ready to take out. So I just took them out of the oven. They're very hot. I'm going to let them cool before I put anything on them. So I'm going to give it about 30-40 minutes. These are looking huge, way bigger than the others. Our cinnamon rolls are done, so we are going to frost them and then put our drizzle on, and then we will do our taste test. So check that out. Super gooey, super delicious looking. Okay, so we have our 3 types of cinnamon rolls. I'm going to plate these up, and then we are going to have our special guest come and do a taste test. So here I have my lovely spouse that's going to help me be the blind taste tester for this. So I have our different cinnamon rolls. We've got 3 cinnamon rolls, Daniel. Okay. So I have one that is store-bought, okay, one that comes from a tin, and one that is homemade, okay? Okay. And I'm not going to tell you which one is which. I'm going to have you taste each one of them, and then you're going to tell me which one. You're going to, after each one, tell me what you think about it, and then at the end you can tell me which one's your favorite. Okay. Okay? All right. So first one's right here. I'll hand this to you in your hand.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Not bad.
Okay.
Not very fluffy though, you know?
Alright, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Homemade butter. Softer and fluffier. Frosting's better. Frosting's like creamier. Okay?
Done?
Yeah.
Okay. Last one.
It's dense. Yeah. So, yeah, the last one's really good. And the last one has something else in it besides just the frosting.
Okay.
And the last one, so now where you want my favorite?
Yeah.
My favorite one was that last one.
Okay.
And the second one was my second favorite, and the first one was my least favorite.
Okay, and why was that last one your favorite?
Well, it was like soft and gooey and chewy and delicious, but there was also a little bit of crunch with the bottom. And then the icing was really good, but there was like something else with the icing that added like an extra flavor.
Alright, so you want to open your eyes real quick?
Yeah.
Visually, which one do you think is better?
I mean that one.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's obvious. All right, so this is what you said. You said this one was your favorite, which is the homemade. So it's worth it to make homemade. And then you said this one was your second, which is the one that came from the tin, or from the little tube. And then this was a grocery store one.
That's the gross, nasty one?
You thought it was gross?
No, I mean it was bad, but it wasn't like that one.
All right, folks. Thank you for Daniel for joining us. And as you can see, it was a blind taste test. I didn't do it because I knew which ones I had made and I could tell the difference. So I had him taste it because he didn't have any idea. And so obviously he said that this one, the homemade one, was the best. And then this one is second best. And then the grocery store one was the least, like the third place or whatever, contender. Now, as far as price-wise goes, I had most of the ingredients for this middle one in my house already. The only thing I did have to buy was the cream cheese, but everything else I had. So this one for me was the cheapest to make, but for you it might be a little bit more expensive if you have to buy all the ingredients. And then this one, it costs $5.99 for a tube, and it only made 4. Whereas this one, I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 of these cinnamon rolls, whereas I only have 4 of these. And then this one was $4.99, so $1 cheaper than this one, but it was the least favorite. So gooey. Try this one. You can see that is so gooey. So good. Let's give this one a try. It's like the best cinnamon roll I've ever had. Like Daniel said, that little caramel, the butterscotch, makes it like so much better. And gives it a little extra taste. Won't be buying cinnamon rolls from the store again because those cans scare me, and the cinnamon rolls from the grocery store were just kind of but I definitely will be making this recipe again. Recipe, as always, will be down in the description. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, do so now because we have plenty more recipes where this comes from. And thank you for joining me. Have a great day.